Oh boy, we're here again. We're in my bedroom with all my friends. We're having a morning time. I think I'll get just one more rhyme. So we have a love morning with our attitudes. We're gonna share some good thoughts and our big gratitudes. Welcome to Love Morning. Yeah, I think that worked. Hi, good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. Welcome to the Hug Nation gathering of love ambassadors. Welcome to a practice of gratitude and presence and kindness, and just for a little reminder of who we want to be today and sharing some gratitude so we can keep that lens clear, seeing all that is good in our worlds. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning. Welcome to this day. Thank you for being here. If you are here live or watching the recording, it's so wonderful to hear what you're grateful for. Just a hello or where you're from. Just leave a comment of so grateful for. I'm grateful that my houseplants are all so healthy and thriving. No one got too thirsty while I was gone. Grateful for my friend Steven, who held down my home and did some super helpful repairs for me while I was gone on my Playa bicycles and scooter. I am grateful for the momentum just hit me today as far as Playa prep, and grateful for the many years of previous Playa prep. Like I'm like, oh, I need to get another bin, and I look up in my garage. Oh, there are 4 empty bins up there. Okay, let me get those. Like, oh, I need this. Oh, I've got that. Let's see, where is that? So it's fun. Adrian says, I hope the California hurricane doesn't affect the burn. Well, it looks like it absolutely will. Now, the question is, how will it affect the burn? It's currently very wet out in the Black Rock Desert. So there are people there now, the DPW and crews that are setting the platform for us to build the city in. And yesterday they had to looked like they were. You can't work when it's wet on Playa because the alkaline dust, it clumps in a way that you can't drive on it. You can't. If you walk on it, it starts to stick, and you get these platforms on your boots, like Frankenstein boots, as you walk. And a bike, if you ride a bike on it, it will the tires start to cake up so they can't move anymore through your forks. So like if it rains out on Playa and people are out and they try to ride home on their bikes, they just get stuck. And so the morning after, if there's rain, you'll see bikes all over the place in open Playa because you can't ride it anymore. And then when the rain stops, everyone's out with their boots and a knife, like chipping off all the caked on cement-like platforms that are stuck to your shoes and your boots. So that is how it is now. And so the bad part of this is that there's more rain expected. I won't say bad. The consequences of this is that you can't work. It's almost like a whiteout dust storm. Like you can't work in certain conditions out there. So a lot happens in the weeks, and especially the week leading up to Burning Man. So this week that's coming up, there are people that are on their way. I know people that are on their way to the burn. They're going to start building. Most of the early arrival passes are for Wednesday. And I think the last thing I saw is that there's rain on Wednesday. So if it's wet on Wednesday, the people showing up to start building the city, and in addition to the people that are already there building the city, but I think the big crowds start coming on Wednesday of pre-builders, the theme camps. You won't even be able to drive there. You'll be held at the gate. Like you can't come on to the desert, stay on the road until it dries out. So there could be people, pooping in buckets and eating trail mix in their cars for hours. And the bigger consequence is that every day that the build people can't work is a day that it's harder to get things done in time for when the event opens. So I don't know what's going to happen. It could be a very interesting year where we could show up and the temple could be not nearly complete, which happens frequently, or who knows? Now that's the oh boy consequences. The other consequences is that water on the playa creates a a hard pack when it dries out, and then it makes it so that you can, it makes riding a bike so much more fun. So that could be awesome for people like me that are coming later. And the other thing is that the forecast looks like it's going to be like upper 80s. I mean, that'd be like 20 degrees. 20 degrees cooler than last year. My anxiety has just plummeted about this because I can handle upper 80s. I can wear what I want at upper 80s. So I'm super grateful for a new weather adventure. And I'm grateful for all of the extra work that it's going to require from the people that are going early. Good morning, Lou! If you are here and want to say hello, please do so. Share something you're grateful for or where you are physically. I'm in San Diego, California, after being in Stinson Beach yesterday and Big Sur before that, and Monterey. Good morning, Brent. Ooh, Adrian is leaving in 6 days. I think I'm leaving in 8 days. I'm leaving a week from tomorrow and planning to get there late Monday night if all goes well. Early Tuesday morning, maybe. Is that right? No. If all goes right, I will get there early Monday morning. Is that right? No. No, the math is hard for me. But a little bit earlier than I'd originally planned. Going to give ourselves some time in case something goes wrong in the Hugmobile. Good morning, Faith. Grateful to be here and grateful to live in Key West. Love you, Faith. Good morning. I'm grateful that when I was up north, I heard that I was going to come home to 3 days of rain. And right now the forecast looks just like rain on Sunday. And that means I have today and tomorrow to do a bunch of errands and things and not worry about having to drive around in the rain, which I prefer not to. Adrian coming in from Oklahoma. That does make a burn trip more challenging. For me, it's like a 16-hour drive. So I will probably drive to Sacramento or the Bay Area and then sleep a little bit and then drive through the night from Sacramento into the burn. That's the plan. Although if the weather is not as bad, it's not as bad to drive in the daytime. The challenge is if it's 100 degrees out, it's very challenging to drive the Hugmobile. The Hugmobile does not have air conditioning. The engine is right there under your feet, this big 350 or 454 block engine. And it's prone to, it used to have an overheating problem. I think we've got that, but it's just scary to drive an old thing when it's that hot, driving that long up the passes and things. Robert says, you'll get there when you get there. Exactly. And that's one thing that's nice about my situation this year where I have very little responsibilities. My first thing I have to be at Burning Man for is Thursday. Thursday morning I have a shift at Pinkheart. But if I didn't get there until Wednesday, the only thing that would be a bummer is that I would miss out on days of Burning Man. So I'm grateful that I have low responsibilities. Agent says, you need to be gifted a new RV. It's interesting you say that. I met a new friend who works at an EV company that's doing really exciting things. And they kind of were like, what if we converted the Hugmobile to an electric vehicle? I'm like, arrgh. It's certainly doable. It's just a matter of effort and expense. And then the question is, I guess, how would I charge it for the ride home? How do you take an electric vehicle to Burning Man? Solar? Brent says, there's a link to a video, Lake of Dreams, apply a time lapse with rain. Boy, my tongue is not working right now. Cool, I'll check that out later, Brent. Anyone else have anything they're grateful for today? I am grateful for this beautiful trip that I just took with Lisa. Since I've been in San Diego, I spent 3 days on a mountaintop in Big Sur looking at the meteor shower, of which those 3 days there was one clear day, one day of rain. So that was an interesting thing to be, in blankets on my back, looking for stars and then have it rain on us. And oh, I see what's happening. The frickin' YouTube says it's unlisted again. Oh, so lame. I don't think I can change it midway, can I? Let's see if I can. It changes like without telling me. Well, we'll see if that changes and makes it live. So I have like one vacation of meteors and mountaintop and Big Sur, which is always has been one of my favorite places and is rapidly becoming even more favorite because it's a place that Lisa has lived for many years and has friends and favorite places to show me. And then we went and had a night in Monterey, and then had 3 nights in Stinson Beach, a place I'd never even heard of, north of the bay. Really cool little beach with a rocky coast and sand, a really beautiful sandy beach. And so it was like 3 little vacations, all with my beloved. Just tons of beautiful communication and quality time together, and I'm just following just deeper and deeper into love and partnership. It's so awesome. I feel so blessed. Thank you, Lou, saying that yes, we got the YouTube is working now. Thank you. Thanks, Gerbot. I don't know, like I didn't change any settings. It just, and usually I have it set up where I click a few buttons, and then as soon as I start my stream going, it hooks up to YouTube. And it did that today. It's just that it was private for some reason. I tell you, man, if you would have told me a year ago that I would be saying, thank you, Zuck, for making this broadcast so much easier than the YouTube one. Although I won't commit to that because who knows how long this will work. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Razorblade in Australia. Good morning to you. How fantastic. What time is it for you? It is 9:20 for me in San Diego, California in the morning. Gerbot says, I'm grateful to live so close to the playa, 5 hours from Sacramento, however long for the last stop in Reno, and then however long at gate. That's the part, like, hey, if we wanted to arrive at camp, at sunrise, what time do you need to arrive at gate? And you just never know. I get a lot of people ask me, what's the best time to get to gate for the lowest line? I'm like, Tuesday? Otherwise, it's so hard to tell because the line at gate is determined not just by the number of people there, but also by the number of people working the gate and working, the greeters and things like that. Good morning, Paul. Yay, what a delight. Good morning, Paul. Happy Friday? Oh my gosh. I've been out of the world of time and space on my vacation, so it's nice to be home, and look at that. Came home to a Friday. Now I just got to get all the playa prep done. Or done enough before Lisa gets here on Monday, and we'll finish up the stuff. It's 2:20 in the morning in Australia. Thank you for feeling the vibe and being a part of this cool energy in the middle of the night for you. TGI Hurricane, says Paul. Yes. And good morning, Victoria. Yeah, it's the forecast in San Diego is rain Sunday, and then there's a lot of rain actually, and we were talking earlier, the very interesting consequences to this rain to Burning Man. The playa is you cannot drive on a wet playa. It's almost impossible to walk on it. You cannot ride a bike on it. The city shuts down and building shuts down when it's wet. And if it's going to be as wet as they say, it's already wet there right now. It's shut down right now until I think it dried off by the end of the day, they said. But people show pictures after there was a storm or rain, and flooding on playa, which means you can't do anything. So it'll be interesting what it does to the timelines of builds. Gearbot says, don't forget to bring your floaties. I'll say one thing. How do you prepare for rain? One is, it's always good to have a bucket in case you can't get to a porta potty. Although I find that you can always walk around, but you will get your shoes will develop these like Frankenstein boots as the mud just goes, and then you got to chip it off the next day, and it's very difficult to get it all off. So what I would recommend is bringing a bunch of like grocery store plastic bags and just putting them over your either bare feet or over your shoes if you have to go to the porta potty or something, and then you just pull off that bag, and you the mud will end up sticking to the bag. So like trash bags on your feet is a very over your shoes is a nice tip if you're going to be there when it's rainy. And don't try to take your bike out because the tires will get clumped up and you will be stranded. I've actually very much enjoyed when I've been there and it's been raining because, well, it's fun if you don't have things that you have to do. And I guess that's the lesson. You don't have to do anything. So just a minute or two more to share any gratitude if you want. I've already sprayed witch hazel on my hands 3 times. Witch hazel is the pH balance of it cuts the pH of the alkaline playa dust. So vinegar is the most common substance that you use, like a watered down vinegar spray. But witch hazel also works and is less odorous. So I've been moving things and grabbing bins, and 3 times already I've had to spray my hands so I don't get my hands cracking before I even get to the burn. Please, please, please. Anyone else want to share any more gratitude? I am grateful, so grateful for the forecast of a cooler year at Burning Man. 20 degrees cooler it's looking like. And I just feel my nervous system go, oh my gosh, the things that I can do with those 20 degrees, the things that I don't have to, like, I'm putting a lot of effort into, I made a shade thing over the RV last year, like, that worked. And so I've been trying to improve it this year, changing a bunch of things, because last year inside my RV it was like 128 degrees because it's like a metal box that's baking in the sun, and then it didn't cool off at night, so it just didn't cool off. That is difficult. Even with an AC in the AC area, I couldn't get that down to like below 90, and a 90 degree bed is not it's not soothing. So this year, you give me 20 extra degrees, I think my AC is gonna fucking rocket. I think this new shade thing, I am thinking optimistically. At least, even if it goes horribly wrong, at least I am not living with the stress of it as the day approaches that I get there. Gearbot says, I'm grateful that I can take the weeks before and after to prep and decompress. Good point. I'm grateful for that as well, that I have the freedom in my life to leisurely do my preparation and such. Thanks for that reminder. All right, beautiful people. Victoria is also grateful for cooler weather. wonder if I have any old pictures of, I think I have a picture of me like chipping mud off of my boots. We'll see what happens, Alex. What do you, I guess I assume that if it's raining, you don't take your art car out. We'll have to talk more because now it is time to hug and then head off into our days. So wherever you are in this moment, give yourself a big squeeze. Feel us all holding you as you hold us, sharing this moment beyond time and space. Doesn't matter where your feet are, it matters where your heart is. And we've got Razorblade in Australia, people all around the US, and we are sinking into this place, taking a deep breath in, hugging one another, feeling connected, and squeezing. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you, thanks for being here for this Love Morning, this Hug Nation gathering. I love you. Have a beautiful day!